Hey everyone, this is Chris. Welcome back to the channel. So stocks were down a bit today. Mostly we're still reacting to what Federal Jerome Powell said basically everyone, you're going to experience some pain, and the market seemed to be finally believing it. Other news around the market, which is really quite interesting. Morgan Stanley came out and said, hey, there's still a lot of risk in Chinese stocks. And in fact, the housing situation over there could crash the Chinese economy. We'll see. One of the things that I've always said about China is that there's a lot of incompetence over there. You guys would know this if you ever visited China, and anyone who has, please write in the comments if you have an opinion about that. One of the things also really interesting as well is before, many economists were all saying that China was going to overtake the US as being the largest economy in the world, but now people are essentially starting to pull back on that analysis. You know, basically guys, this is what it is, you know, the Communist Party wants to maintain control, and by doing that you're actually limiting the talent in your own country. As you guys probably know, many of the tech companies are under pressure, and it's a horrible move by the Communist Party. I mean, I'm just keeping it real, but I get it, they want to maintain control. So that policy alone is going to sort of keep them from growing and reaching their full potential. So yeah, probably the US will stay the leader in terms of world economies. Also going around the markets as well, because interest rates are going up and because housing prices are still high, the choice between renting and buying is actually not a simple choice. One thing I thought that was kind of interesting is mortgage payments are actually higher than rents right now. I believe it's like 1.5 times, and it's the highest ratio since 2009. So if you sold your house last year, say for, you know, $800,000 or whatever you sold it for, and you're looking to get back in the market, a lot of people are still waiting for prices to come back down. So you're not crazy for waiting. And believe me, guys, I really know. And I also too, I know for people who are sort of thinking about like, should I jump in the market or should I wait a bit? I mean, chances are prices are going to come down, but the problem is that interest rates are going to go up. So it ends up being a wash a bit. I can't tell you exactly what's happening in your market, but that's sort of why people are kind of having a tough choice. Should I rent or should I buy? But I'd love to hear your thoughts on that as well. And this is where a lot of people are choosing renting because they think, one, they can't afford mortgages as it is, and two, prices are still high in many people's opinions. Also, two, Amazon is slowing. They have essentially reduced their plans for warehouse expansions. This is something that I think you guys probably know. You know, during the pandemic, we're all shopping at Amazon because basically all the stores are closed. I myself, whether or not stores are open or closed, shop at Amazon or any sort of online store. So I still think they're going to make money. But Amazon, you know, as a stock, doesn't offer a dividend, and you know, they haven't been the greatest stock compared to the other tech companies, right? Full disclosure, right? So they'll say, well, Chris, it's beating the market, yes, but compared to Apple or Microsoft or say Google, I'd rather be in that one over say a Netflix or an Amazon or say a Facebook. So given the choice of the FANG stocks, again, I'd probably go with Apple, Microsoft, or Google if you're going to choose those things. Also too, which I think is interesting as well, if you guys saw my video about the Larry Jones guy, he made a response. I'll just address that briefly. Basically, this is very, very common among people like this. Basically all he did is say, hey, Chris, you're ugly. So many of his fans will say the same thing as well. You guys will see this in comments where people make fun of my appearance, and you know, it is what it is. But essentially, if you're speaking truth, and if you can't refute the arguments, then you just basically comment on someone's appearance. And in fact, guys, this is actually a major problem among black investors, and this is a real thing. Please look up Ariel Investments. I'm not just making random stuff up. It's actually a black-owned investment company, and they're very concerned about black investors. And the main gist of they did a survey. They did it with Charles Schwab. They did this about, I want to say, about 6 months ago, something like that. I've made videos about this the last, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 times, but I'll just make a video about it again. The basic gist is that black investors are more likely than white investors to invest in crypto, which is risky. Also not see crypto as risky. Also too, they're more likely to invest in things that they don't understand or have researched, and also too, more likely to follow people on social media. And you put all these things together, this is sort of why someone like a Larry Jones is popular. To be fairly frank, you're just taking advantage of vulnerable populations, which is a real problem. And as I mentioned you guys before, he was an Uber driver, has no education, and lost all his money in the market back in 08. And that's his qualifications. And it's just really sad. And so not much else I can say, except I try to put out video, guys, and content for you. One of the things that is very, very real, this is also trouble with navigating the markets. If you watch stuff on TV, they don't necessarily tell you everything that you want to hear, or should hear, I should say, mostly because they're selling you products. People on TV are saying to their clients basically, hey, markets are fine, markets are great, stay invested, give me money, and so I can make my management fees. So I try to tell you guys the truth, which is very, very different than what you'll hear most places around there. And also too, many YouTube channels out there, they think they have to pump up stocks all the time because essentially that's how they get views and how they make money. Some people are even paid to pump up penny stocks or crypto. That is a real thing. And this is just what it is. So I have to mention that because I think it's something that is important to mention. And other than that, things are going great. If you guys haven't seen my video yet on baseball in Korea, I definitely recommend that. Life in Korea is pretty good. The basic gist of it, and it's just something that I really warn you guys, my opinion is that unemployment is going to go up in the USA. If they're serious about inflation, interest rates will go up, unemployment will go up, and most likely crime will go up. So I do believe there'll be more shootings in the USA, and that's just how it is. And the reason why I mention that is because if you haven't seen the video I did on the baseball game in Korea, one of the things that I always talk about when I'm living outside the USA is just how safe I feel. And it's one thing I always talk about living in the USA, how I really dislike, say, living like in LA or not, is you have to worry about your safety. And the other issue too, you always have to worry about homelessness. So those are real problems. And this is something that I just wanted, actually I'll show you guys around this park that I'm in. You can see there's not really like just random homeless people, out to hurt you. And for those of you who live in LA, you guys would know what I'm talking about. I'm not just making this random stuff up. It's really safe here. So also too, speaking of safety, keep your money safe. One of the things I've been mentioning to you guys for a long time is I bonds. So if you don't have Series I bonds, pick those up. I don't work for the government. That's essentially a government thing. And you have to be a US citizen, but you know what? It's the best savings account in America, 9.62% return. Also consider keeping some cash on the sidelines and investing. If you're into the stock market, stick with your blue chip companies that have made it through recessions before, and you're going to do fine. So I hope everyone is doing great. Looking forward to the weekend. I'll try to put some more content out. In fact, today we're going to go test a Polestar. They actually do have Polestars in Korea, so I think it's going to be really fun, and I'll try to get that video out as soon as possible as well. So thanks everyone again for watching, and I'll catch you next time.